I'm with David Gurteen in the Treasury at a knowledge cafe, and behind us in this room there's a lot of buzz where people are talking about the question of how can we most effectively, actively share knowledge in an organisation. David, these things seem to work very well. Why do knowledge cafes go so well wherever you hold them?
It's interesting because they do go well. I run them all over the world now in so many different cultures, and touch wood, they've never gone wrong. Now I think there's some good reasons for that. One of the things I try to do in the cafe, I say anything that gets in the way of the conversation is a bad thing. So I try to remove all barriers to the conversation. So I allow people to speak in their own language. I try to eliminate hierarchy as far as I can, so we don't have a table leader or table note taker. One person's never going to be asked to be put on the spot and asked to stand up and report back. I tell people it's perfectly okay to go off topic. I'm trying to get the same sort of conversation that you might have down a pub or in a coffee house, where the conversation is free to go where the conversation wants to go, and not where the facilitator or the manager in the room wants it to go. And I think that's why it works well, because people are not afraid. They feel free to talk about what they want to talk about, and they know that in many ways there aren't going to be any consequences, that they can speak their minds.
You work in the field of knowledge management, and is there a tension between knowledge management, which people think of as data and information, organised, categorised and so forth, and what we're discovering here, which is the best way to share knowledge is conversation?
To me, this is the best way to effectively share knowledge. Yes, you can't always bring people together face to face to have conversations, and yes, databases and repositories do play a part. But if you really want to engage people, and you really want people to learn from each other, and ask the questions that they want to ask, and get the answers that they're looking for. In a conversation, you can stop the other person, you can interrupt and say, "No, that's not quite what I meant," or "Could you go into more detail here?" The conversations are a very powerful tool for having conversations and elucidating information and knowledge.
And you've kindly done a tip sheet about knowledge cafes, which I'll point people at.
Now in I think a dozen different languages as well, if people are interested.
That's fantastic. And have you found, well, I guess you have, that people can do it themselves?
Well, at one level, the cafe is a very, very simple concept, and people can do it themselves. Although I have discovered over the years that some people are more controlling than others. Some people are suited, if you like, to facilitating a cafe. Others are not quite so suited, and I've seen some cafes that to my mind have not worked terribly well, where the host or the facilitator has been rather controlling. That the whole essence of the cafe, when I'm running it, is for me to kind of almost disappear into the background. I'm not trying to impose my view on people, but yes, you can. With just a little bit of skill, a little bit of sensitivity, anybody can run a cafe.
So it's really relax and have a good chat.
Absolutely, yeah. Just like you do down the pub.